I've went through lots and lots and lots of reading material trying to figure out how to make all this stuff work. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, this. I had every account there is to have out there, guys. Every one of them. Somehow they're all connected, somehow, and now, after about a year's worth of doing all this junk, they seem to have kind of all connected, and, you know, I show up on the internet quite often. So, obviously, Jason and I were talking, and I said, listen, man, I would love for you to come here and educate these guys on how all this stuff works, especially this hashtag junk that everyone talks about, because I have no clue what this hashtag stuff is, but hopefully he'll talk about that today. Jason will do an amazing job. His wife is the brains behind the operation, so apparently she's going to be talking too. But, you know, both of them are very, very good at what they do, and I hope you guys enjoy something and learn it.
Power's on.
All right. No presentation is good without some technical difficulties.
We like to do this to test the new presenter. It's like when it's your first time presenting, and we like to mess with you really good. Right?
Perfect timing, too. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
No? All right. Well, thanks, everyone, for having me here. Thanks, Mick. Thanks, David. Mick, I have really respected and looked up to as a marketer in general. He does a great job, so I'm really honored to have him have introduced me tonight and invited me here to do this presentation. I'm Jason Orem, president, founder of Jazz Design Company. Adrienne is my wife and also our social media director, so you'll get to hear from her later, and she's going to inform you about some things about social media and how to use hashtags. If you know how to use a hashtag, use this one tonight. If you're going to post on your social media, basically Facebook or Twitter, and then we'll be able to index all that, you can see what's going on. So how many of you are right now actively using social media to market your business? All right. How many people have a website in here? This is fun. This is awesome. Cool, cool. How many people like Mick's Jib Jab videos? Me? I thought so. Kaboom! Kaboom! All right, so just to introduce us, we're Jazz Design Company. We've been in business since 1999 and helping businesses ever since with website design and development, search engine optimization, social media management, and most recently reputation management is really important. I'm going to talk about that tonight and explain to you why it's sort of my passion to help as many small businesses with reputation, because it's one thing that gets overlooked the most often. So the internet is a social platform, and what we're going to learn today is how it's changing the buyer behavior. We're going to talk about what makes up your internet presence and reputation and how it's affecting the way people are buying right now. We're going to talk about things like how to leverage your internet presence for your business using the website, social media that's out there, all of these different things, listings that your business exists on different websites, and then we're going to talk about examples of what to do and even what not to do on social media, and hashtags, ads, organic audience building, a lot of things that maybe you haven't heard of. First, I want to get into reputation management. What is reputation management? Well, what it is really important because it's the center of your entire internet presence. It's surrounded by your website, which is essentially your face on the internet. It's surrounded by the social media and how you engage with your audience online and your potential clients and your clients. And it's also about your search. Are you found on search engines? And can people access the information that's out there about your business? This guy must have a great reputation because look how trustworthy he is. Look who he's hanging out with.
I have no idea what to do about.
So, what is reputation? How is it affected by social media? Well, it's part of your existence. Is there a proof of your existence out there? What I mean by that, there's two things I mean by that. Do you have a face to the internet, and do you have activity on those accounts? Are your social media accounts being used? Are you posting to those? Transparency. And what I mean by transparency is sort of not hiding from the people that are out there talking about your business. And what they're saying about you is something that's going to be there for a long time. So we better be responding to it and monitoring it. Reviews, comments, and engagement are all things that we have to be concerned with when thinking about our overall reputation online, because people are commenting when we are posting blog posts. They are also reviewing our businesses and services when they do business with us. We have faster access to more people than ever before in the history of mankind. We can, according to their interests, we can access them that way. And I'm going to explain to you later about Facebook ads and how that's really important. We can immediately correspond with whoever we want to, essentially. We can private message people on Facebook. We can tweet them. We can essentially text them. Everybody has a mobile device that they're able to use to do this. So social media comes in the form of many, many different platforms. And for us, we need to determine which platforms make the most sense, because we don't necessarily want to be active on all of them unless we hire a social media manager, because it's just going to take up too much of our time. One platform is REI Black Book that's out there. That's a specific social network for real estate investors that you can become involved with. And finally, forums are a place that you can go to establish that know, like, and trust factor. You can post comments on forums and also interact with people on forums and get them to know who you are, and then eventually like you because you've given them some advice, and then ultimately you're able to gain their trust. Reviews are costing businesses thousands of dollars, whether it's negatively or positively. And what I mean by that is one bad review can lead to thousands in lost revenue. So if you are doing any type of advertising your business, whether it's on TV, radio, you're paying for SEO, you're paying for pay-per-click advertising, you better have a good reputation, because what's going to happen in this day and age is people, once they see your ad and they think they might want to do business with you, what are they going to do? They're probably going to Google you. And so if you have a bunch of bad reviews out there that you have no idea exist, happens every day. Almost, I bet you 80% of the people that I talk to, small businesses, have reviews on Google Plus or Yelp that they've never even seen. And they're usually bad. No kidding. So if you're going to spend money promoting your business, you better have a good reputation and be monitoring it. So one client of mine called me up in a state of panic. She's an audiologist, and she found this review on Yelp. It's a horrible review. It was about this long, and at the bottom of this review on Yelp, they have this little button that's called, "Did you find this review helpful? Click here." Well, 9 people clicked that, and most people don't take the time to click it, most likely. So in my estimation, probably 90 people had seen that in about a course of 7 months. If you read a bad review and you've never done business with somebody before, will you ever do business with them? Probably not. So she lost, who knows how many thousands of dollars. If one customer is a value of $500 to $1,000, you can imagine how much that one review cost her. So the virtual doorway of your business, it's essentially 2 things. It's what you say about yourself online and what data exists about you out there. So there's a digital footprint, and this is the data for your business that exists on different websites, these directory websites. It's what Google has out there about your business, and Google's done everybody a favor, every business a favor. They created a web page for them, for their business. The problem with that is they created this web page for their business that they have no idea about. It's amazing. The other aspect of the digital footprint is what others are saying about you, what I was just talking about. So consumers are controlling the conversation because of this. It's changed the way people buy. So if, for example, if I see an ad for a Ford F-150, right, we know that's paid propaganda by Ford. They put it out there where they want us to buy that truck. But if I read reviews from a bunch of people that drive the Ford F-150 and they all say they love it, I'm probably going to trust that a lot more than that ad I saw, right? So I'm probably going to be more apt to look at the reviews. So that's what I mean by it's changing the buyer behavior. Looks like this guy wants to control the conversation.
I don't know what the conversation is about.
So a business's virtual doorway, essentially what people are saying about you online. This is an example of the types of conversations that are going on right now. So this person, Rita, tagged ABC We Buy Houses, and it says they practically sold my house from me. I'm disappointed in the experience because I could have made more money if I would have fixed it up and listed it myself. Right? You all heard that. Yeah. So what Sheila tries to bring her down to earth a little bit. She said, well, I ran the numbers myself, and I found that if I would have made, I wouldn't have made more money, and it would have actually taken me months to fix my mother's house, and I just didn't have the time or knowledge, and I'm really happy they helped me out. So it's sort of swaying Rita's opinion. And Val had another good experience. No way, they were great to work with and saved me a lot of hassle, and I wouldn't have made any more money considering the work that it needed. So this is an example of the types of conversations that are going on online right now. So what we need to do is monitor and manage these reviews. There's 3 steps to dealing with reviews that are left on primarily these 3. These are the top 3 places that people leave reviews. The first step is to say you're sorry. If it's a bad review, just say you're sorry. Even if you're sorry or not, the customer's always right? So say you're sorry. The second thing to do is to say, hey, this must be an isolated incident. We don't have a lot of other bad reviews. And the third thing you do is say, I am the owner, I'm the manager, here's my phone number, please call me and work this out. So that does 2 things. The first thing it does is tries to get the person on the phone, because the only person that can take down a bad review is the person that left it. So work with them, try to get that thing taken down. We know how much money these things cost our businesses. And the second thing it does, if they won't take it down, is it shows people that you care, that you're not ignoring these bad reviews, and that you want to try to work it out with this person, and that you are acknowledging it's an isolated incident. Those are the 3 things. Write them down. They're important. So what about good reviews? We want to solicit good reviews because when somebody has a good buying experience, they're just going to move on with the rest of their life, and they're not going to take more action in trying to get reviews. So always ask your customers to leave you reviews. So we need to engage with them. When they leave a review, like I said, we want to make sure we try to work it out. What would you do if somebody came into your store and had a complaint or wanted to review you in your store? You wouldn't just say, sorry, I'm busy, and go in your office and ignore them, right? No, you would talk to them. You would work it out. So why are businesses ignoring the reviews that are left about them online? It's an epidemic, essentially. So the second thing we want to do is harvest this user-generated content, meaning that word-of-mouth content. Encourage customers to leave reviews for you on your Google Plus page, on your Facebook page, on Yelp, and then publish those reviews. If it's a good review, use it. You know, if they left it on Google Plus, copy it and put it on Facebook. That's great stuff that people like to see. You can get good reviews another way. You can go out and create a bunch of fictitious accounts and start leaving reviews for your company, or you can hire a company to do that for you. But I would really advise against it, because this company was fined $350,000 by the Attorney General for doing just that. So stay away from that strategy. All right, so these are the top review sites. Facebook's now accepting reviews. They have 3 times more than Yelp. Google Plus is really, really popular because when you do a search for a local business, it's the Google Plus page that pops up. And so we need to be paying attention to all these things. Online reviews equal money. So 93% of people said that they're buying, or 90% of their buying, people said their buying decisions were influenced by online reviews. That's a lot of people. I've seen statistics down to 60, but essentially it's a lot of people that look at reviews. And we love to see reviews, and we've grown to know, use them, and we've grown to trust them as part of our buying process. So, for example, when I see a product or service that has a bunch of 5-star reviews, then I'm probably going to just say, well, a bunch of people reviewed it, they gave it 5-star, I'm just going to buy it, right? So I'm not going to do a lot more digging, and that's kind of the example I mean by the way it's changed. Next, we're going to talk about your website and your blog. I know everybody loves to hear that term, blog, but first, your website. Everybody should have one. If you're in business, you really need to have a website because it is the face, your face on the internet. It's the core of your presence online, and what I mean by that is everything should direct back to your website. We got to make it interactive, or get people to do something or take action when they get there. So if you're developing a website, keep that in mind. Make sure that if you don't just put up, hey, we're the greatest, whatever, buy from us. No, say, here's something, fill out your name and your email address here, and I'm going to send you a top 10 tips on things that you can learn from me, whatever that might be. And so the idea with the website is to get leads. It has to be responsive. How many people know what that term means? I'm trying to get people just to wake up. So, with the advent of the mobile device, there is more traffic. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but most traffic's done on a mobile device. So your website needs to respond to the type of browser that's looking at it. If it's an iPhone, if it's a tablet, if it's a desktop, you're displaying the same information, but it needs to look different so people can use it easily. That's what responsive is. It has to be search engine friendly. A big tip, if you're developing a website or you have a website, make sure your mailing address is on the first page of the website. Make sure your social icons are on the first page, and make sure your phone number is on the first page, because search engines need that stuff. Connect your social media accounts, like I just said, and make your blog part of your website. So it'll be mywebsite.com/blog, not blogger.blah.com, and expect people to find it. They're never going to find it. And Web 2.0 is here now, and what that essentially means is that we're collaborating online. We are adding content to the internet now. Used to be Web 1.0 was we would put a billboard up about ourselves online, and people would read it. Now, people are commenting on things. They're socializing. It's evolving. Web 3.0 is coming. It's really exciting. Just look it up. I don't have time to explain it, but it's crazy. All right. Your voice on the internet is your blog. It's an online discussion that's started by you, and what I mean by that is you have everybody's customers, right? And all these customers have questions. So whenever you have a question, what's the first thing you do? Yeah, exactly. So when your customers Google these questions, don't you want to be there to answer them? Of course you do. So think of the top 50, 100 questions that you've ever been asked. They're the title of your blogs, and answer them. That's going to get your website ranked for lots and lots of terms that you never even thought of. So these are long tail terms that if you thought of the question, or if you've been asked the question 20 times, so have other people. So answer that question. Answer your ideal customers' questions, and this turns into SEO bait. And that is just like I described. When somebody Googles it, the search engines are going to index the answer to the questions. Google's main objective is to provide the best customer experience possible.
So Jason, are you saying set up a different page that answers each question? Or
I'm saying set up a blog. A blog is part of your website. You have the ability to add entries to the blog, and each entry needs a title of the blog, the question, and then answer the question below it.
Okay, thanks.
So with the advent of the mobile device, everybody's walking around with a computer in their pocket that's more powerful than the computer that put a man on the moon. And they're using it for everything. And well, I mean everything. And that's in some cases all people are using to access the internet. So they research things they want to buy, they socialize through it. And so Google is paying attention to this. And as of the beginning of 2014, mobile use, internet usage from mobile device has exceeded that of a desktop. And so Google was like, wow, we got to do something here. And last week, on April 21st, they changed their algorithm and they are no longer displaying websites for searches on a mobile device that are not mobile friendly. Big problem for a lot of business. Millions and millions of websites out there. I've been busy lately. All right, so SEO, one of the biggest things that businesses face is being found online, right? So what we need to do is we need to figure out how to be found. And this guy, I think he figured it out. And he's wearing green tights there. I like the little hat, Nick. I love that.
Thank you.
All right, so how does the business show up here? When you do a search, I did a search for We Buy Houses York, PA. And you get this little map that shows up. These are all sponsored results, but most people will go to these first, right? How do you get there? That's the big question. All right, so what it does is it pulls up 6 results for the search, and this is how it does it. There's 3 things that every business needs. The first thing is a Google Plus page. It's the most important thing for any small business to have. They probably already created one for you and you don't even know about it. If they haven't created one for you, create one. It's very, very important because what's the biggest search engine in the world? Google. So everybody's going to Google you. You better be there and you better have your stuff up to date. Reviews and social activity are also used in that algorithm. So they've actually taken their algorithm and they are now using the fact that if you have a social media presence or not, they're going to give your website more relevancy if you have social media accounts attached to your website. And reviews are always good, so they're looking at that as well. And the third thing is consistent business listing data on relevant online sources. Big mouthful, but essentially what it is your business data better be consistent everywhere out there, because if it's not, and your competitor is, guess where your competitor is going to be? Above you in that search. You probably aren't going to even show up on the homepage because Google wants to provide the best user experience possible. If your business looks like it moved 100 times and you've never updated your physical address, your email is an AOL address from 20 years ago, and your data is inconsistent, then what they're going to do is say, wow, this business is probably out of business. We're not even going to list them. So the way you get all of this stuff up to date, all these listings up to date, is these 4 major data providers. They're providing the accurate business listing information to all of these different places. Search engines, review sites, social sites, the automotive manufacturers pull from these 4 data providers, and online directories pull from it. Because think about it, how do these huge directories get all of the business data for all of the businesses out there? You know, there's just no way that they can do that unless there's this huge database. So there's 4 of them, and you need to have your information up to date with them. These are the about 309 sources that those 4 data providers provide. It's everything from Yellow Pages to Google to Dogpile to TomTom, all the major automotive manufacturing, Map My Run. Adrian? Used to. Anyway, we have the ability to go out there and figure out which of these data providers have accurate data for your business. It's a report that we run. It's complimentary, and then we can determine if you have errors. So we can also monitor it and build it over time, and I'll explain to you. Have you guys seen this guy on social media? Yeah. He's out there. I think he's doing the worm here. or something. I don't know what that is.
Can you send that to us?
I will. You want to get a picture quick? I can do that.
We need that.
All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Adrian right now, who's going to talk about social media and how to use all those things like hashtags, things like that. I hope you got a little bit out of that. Here's Adrian.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Adrian Oram. Obviously, I'm Jason's wife, and I'm the social media director for Jazz Design Company. We help our clients get in front of their ideal audiences through social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all those other good things. Which one is my button? This one? The bottom one? Oh, I went backwards. Okay. Okay, so
You did that on purpose.
you totally be seen again, right? So, social media for finding sellers or finding buyers. How many people here are actively using social media to get in front of their ideal audiences? Not enough of you. Okay. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about stuff that most of you aren't even going to know what I'm talking about, but hopefully what I talk about will encourage you and maybe, get you guys to realize how important it is to be active on social media. I'm going to talk about audience building, which is basically understanding how to get your business connected to other businesses through social media platforms. I'm going to talk a lot about hashtags because that's probably the #1 question people ask me. Hashtag, I don't get it. And then I'm going to eventually turn it back over to Jason, and he's going to talk a little bit about Facebook ads. So what are hashtags used for? Can anybody give me like a definition of what a hashtag is? No?
Social media's definition of a hashtag?
Sure.
Or just like, well, to me, being from the younger generation, it's just like categorize and define some keywords.
There you go. Hashtag was actually started on Twitter, and it was a way to filter conversations. So I'm sure that people have seen, maybe you've been to like a convention or something or a seminar, and they have a hashtag like we're using the Yorktown REI, hashtag Yorktown REI tonight as an example. So that's the main reason for it, is to filter conversations. It also makes you more searchable. So if you put hashtags in your posts on any social media platform, that hashtag is going to become searchable. It'll become a link. And it will also index you with any other types of posts that have that term in them. And it's also a really great tool for finding content. As a social media manager, I use it all the time. That's how I find content that I can either share, I can respin it, I can follow that person or that business, because maybe they have really great content that I can learn from and I can pull from. So how do you create a hashtag? One way, and this is kind of like a little cheat for all of you. I'm sorry, you guys can't really see this. Figure out hashtags that are already being used. And this is a good website right here. It's called hashtagify.me. And this website you can go to, and if you want to see if a hashtag is being used, type it in. In this example, what I did was I typed in hashtag short sale. And what happened was it gave me a list of similar hashtags that are also being used. And I happened to notice that hashtag just listed was on there. And I thought, oh, I never would have thought about that. So I went and I went onto Facebook, and I noticed that I searched in the search box at the top of Facebook, and I put in the hashtag just listed, and a whole list of posts that people use that hashtag came up. And for a lot of you here, that's a really great hashtag to use when you have a property that you really want to sell. So this guy, basically, well, first let me go back here. When you're creating a hashtag, make sure that you have no spaces at all. There's no spaces in a hashtag. My recommendation, and a lot of people don't do this, is that
Preach it. Preach it.
I'm going to preach it. Make sure you capitalize each word, because it's just really hard to read a long hashtag or a longer hashtag that's all lowercase, and you're trying to figure out which word is the beginning, which word's the end. So capitalize each word of a hashtag. So this guy, I like what he did. This is a real estate agent in Beverly Hills. He's got very proper use of hashtags, in my opinion. So what he did was, the hashtags are actually part of the sentence, and they're not just tacked on to the end of the post, and which I consider spammy. So what he did was he wrote it like he would a normal sentence, He's got just listed in Beverly Hills, 4-bedroom elegant condo. Stop by open house Sunday 2 to 5. Please like and share. And one thing I think that he did that is really great is he's branding himself. He's considered Mr. West Side, so he did hashtag Mr. West Side. There are no punctuations. It has to be alphabetical. You can't have any spaces. You can't have any exclamation marks or well, you can have a hashtag, but you can't have any periods or anything, or it will break it. And then he put the link to his website. So he did a really good thing here. I like the way he did it. He didn't use more than 2 or 3 hashtags because more than that is just way too spammy.
So we should do that on
That's not just
Craigslist?
that's not just a link to his website. That link, I bet anybody $100 is a link to that listing.
That list, more than likely. Yeah, I agree.
So we should do that on Craigslist? Put hash?
Craigslist does not have hashtags.
Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn is not using them just yet, Pinterest, Instagram, yeah. Yes,
Would you prefer to save questions for later, or as we go through here?
it doesn't matter to me.
Okay, then just using the Mr.
Mr. Westside.
Mr. Westside. I've been trying to figure this hashtag thing out myself with no success. And so let's just say Mr. Westside's trying to brand himself.
Yep.
Hopefully, ideally, anybody who puts hashtag Mr. Westside gets his listing. Unfortunately, West Side Story is very popular in the high schools right now, and there's 1,000 lead Mr. Westsides now for every high school that's doing the West Side Story. So now, Mr. Westside, the real estate agent, is at the bottom of the list of.
He's buried in all of
Right,
these, yeah,
so,
yeah,
and I've seen that with different hashtags.
Right.
I've been confused about why would I even
right.
mix it up with that.
And that's a very good point. I actually am going to touch on something similar to that in just a little bit. But yeah, you definitely want to research your hashtag. I mean, don't just say, oh, I'm just going to be this person. Look it up. See if somebody else is using it, or in the example I'll show you in a minute, you'll see why you should definitely research your hashtags. But yeah, good point. When you are creating hashtags, a good idea is to leverage current events and popular topics. Just because most people in here are in real estate doesn't mean you always have to talk about real estate. If there is a hot topic that is going on that you want to become part of the conversation and maybe get a little bit more exposure than you would just in the real estate world, then jump on it. This is a client of ours that I do social media management for. They are a mortgage lender, and basically we jumped on the Hanover Eagles. Everybody's talking about these Eagles. Everybody's watching them. Everybody's interested in them. So we posted, have you been watching the Hanover Eagle? And I used the hashtag Hanover Eagle, and just, you know, fun little sentence about it, have the link to the feed, and I then also use the hashtag that Penn Live, which is where I shared this post from, is using, and that is the hashtag Hanover Eaglet News. This is kind of a small lender. He only pays for kind of a bare minimum of social media with us, and so we don't always get a great response to the posts that we put up there for him, but this one reached 360 people and got 9 likes. And for him, that was really great because that really got him in front of a lot more people than just the people that maybe he's done lending for or the agents that he is working with. So that was a really great way to use a hashtag and get him out in front of more people on Facebook. So when you're creating a hashtag, please do not abuse it. Like I said, too many is perceived as spam. No spaces, no punctuation, it will break the link. And please don't do any hashtag sentences. No hashtag, what did you have for breakfast today? I had eggs. You know, whatever. just don't do it. It's just very annoying, and you just turn them off. And this is an example here, and this is what I consider. Do I have a question? This is what I consider hashtag spam. He could have easily just used 3 of these. I would say that, you know, most of them are very similar to one another. So I just feel that just is a little bit too much. And I feel that this is a missed opportunity from Fortune Builders. So, I know. So I just feel this is a missed opportunity because I feel that they could have done hashtag deal of the week, or like the other example, hashtag just listed. It's just a great way to make sure that you can be found in filtered content. So it's not a bad post. It just could have made it better. So research your hashtags, and this is going to go back to what you were just saying. And this is kind of an extreme example, but this is an Entenmann's post, and they thought it would be cute to say who's hashtag not guilty about eating all the sweet treats that they like, and it just so happened to be during the Casey Anthony murder trial. And so they ended up getting listed amongst all of the hashtag not guilty feeds that related to the Casey Anthony murder trial. And it was bad for them. I would dare say maybe it could have been good for them, just in publicity-wise, but there ended up being a Twitter parody account for them because of their misstep and everything. So research your hashtags.
They researched it, they knew what they were doing.
I think they might have been.
There was no mistake there, it was
so when you want to find buyers via Facebook, and just to give you some groundwork here, my specialty is in Facebook business pages. Although I do all social media platforms, my specialty is Facebook, so I tend to be heavy on the Facebook side. When you want to try and find buyers via Facebook, you want to make sure that you promote your sale posts. So if you have that hashtag just listed post that you've put on your Facebook business page, promote that post. There is a way to boost the post, or you can even do an ad for it. So we definitely recommend that you do that. Get in front of more people because it's extremely targeted. You can target Facebook ads and promoted posts like a laser. I mean, it's just you can just do it in a certain area of York if you want to. Use the hashtags and tag relevant pages. And obviously, I'm not going to get into all the nuances of how to do all the little things on Facebook because it's kind of something you can talk to me after. But if you tag relevant pages in your posts, it's going to get you in front of more bigger audience. You always want to cross-post to relevant pages. So if you have a post that you've done for a listing on your social media accounts, then share it or post it to another account, another business page, and that can help out as well. And does anybody know what Bitly is or Owly? It's a URL shortener. Of course you do. I recommend that everybody has an account for these. If you're going to start doing any sort of social media posting, they're a really great way, not only to make your URLs much shorter, but if you have an account with them, then they're trackable. You can go back to all of the Bitly or the Owly, or there's a dozen other websites that shorten URLs, and you can actually see how many people have clicked on your link, where they've come from, and that's actually really great, information for you to have to see how well your posts are doing that you're using URL shorteners for. Audience building techniques is probably the number one reason why people hire me. Audience building is kind of the back end work that you do on your social media platforms that nobody has time to do. It's extremely tedious. It takes a lot of time, and most people don't understand it. However, if you are going to start out and you're going to do it on your own, the number one thing to get started, let's just say that you have just created a Facebook business page. You want to share that page with everybody that you know. They are your first line of support. They're the ones who are going to support you in your business, and so you want to ask them to make sure that they share your page or your account with their friends and their family and their colleagues. So that's where you start. You always start there. We always recommend that business that is just starting out with a business page, or if it's on Twitter or LinkedIn, definitely start with some ads. They're very targeted. You can get yourself out there in front of your ideal audience a lot faster than just doing it the organic way, which is why I get hired. This is probably one of the biggest things that people don't realize that they can do, and they should be doing. The real estate on your business cards, your email signatures, and your printed materials is absolutely perfect. And if you don't have the addresses for your social media accounts on there, then you are missing a lot of really targeted traffic, because especially your email signature. How many people do you email in a week? Probably a lot. And if your email signature just says Bob Smith, you've missed a great opportunity to show them that they can go straight to your website, they can go straight to your Facebook page, they can go straight to your LinkedIn account. So get those accounts listed on everything that you hand out to people. Don't miss that opportunity to let them know that you have, you know, a social media existence. Get your employees involved, and I mean, a lot of people here may not have employees, but if you are not encouraging the people that work with you or for you to share, comment, like anything that you're doing on social media for your business, then they're your brand ambassadors. They're the people who should be your front line. Get them involved. You can even get some of them involved that if you trust them enough, get them involved to admin your pages and help with your posting. This is a kind of a no-brainer that people feel like they can't ask the people that work for them to do. They feel like they're asking too much of them, and it really shouldn't be that because social media is here to stay. Connect with local businesses and industry experts. And this is through social media. You want to be using your social media platforms as your business account, and you want to be connecting with those businesses that you want to do business with. And not only that, but the businesses that you support that maybe aren't in your industry. Maybe it's the sub shop across the street that you have lunch at every day. Like that business and support that business. And like, comment, and share as your business. This is something that people sometimes have struggle understanding, especially on Facebook. Using Facebook as your business is a very specific way of using it, and you should learn how to do that because you should be going through on Facebook and making those connections by liking, commenting, and sharing as your business and not yourself. Shout outs are important. You guys are doing shout outs in this room. You're doing them earlier. Do them on Facebook. Do them on Twitter. Do them on LinkedIn. Tell people the same things that you do face to face on social media, and it's going to take you much farther. And now we're back to social. That was really fast. Anybody have questions for me specifically? Yeah, I always get that deer in the headlights.
So one of the things that would be a good idea would be for everybody in this room who has a Facebook page would be if we all liked each other and all made it a habit to comment on each other's Facebook pages whenever we were doing anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just want to make sure you thought that was a good idea.
Yes. That's a very good
Good
idea.
idea, Juno. You have all the good ideas.
Yes, that was her idea. I was just asking the questions.
Thank you.
Nice job, hon. Okay, so we're going to talk about Facebook ads. I ran a couple just to use as examples, so some things that are good about them, some things that could have been improved. The first thing what you want to do when you're running a Facebook ad is determine, or a Twitter ad, is determine your objective. What do you want the person to do that clicks on the ad? They can click like on this little sign up, they can click right here. Where do you want them to go? Do you want them to go to your Facebook page and like it? Perfectly fine. Do you want them to go to a landing page where they can fill out their information and submit their house that they want to sell you? That would be great too. But you just have to determine what the objective is first. And then I want to go through kind of what, this is sort of a case study. I ran it for a little bit of time, and about 5 days, and about 2 weeks is the life expectancy of a Facebook ad because it's what they call ad fatigue. When people keep seeing the same ad over and over again, they want to see it less and less, right? So switch up the image, even if you're not switching up the message as much, but just switch up the image. And actually Facebook starts to display it less if you don't. So what I did in this campaign here is I made 3 ads in the same campaign. I targeted one to bankruptcy, one to probate, and one to divorce. And so I was able to, because what do you do when you create a Facebook account? You enter all your information in there. That's awesome, right? It's kind of creepy, but it's great for marketers because now we know everything about you. We know what you do online because Facebook tracks everything that you do. Everything you click on, everything you enter in there, they know, so that we as marketers can market to you so they can make more money and rule the world. Test your images. Test your images because they allow you to upload about 5 images, and it's a really good idea to spend the time to create multiple images because you don't know what people are going to click on the most. I did this ad for, a few days, I got 40 clicks to the website for 21 bucks. That's not too bad. The average click-through rate, which you want to definitely pay attention to, this one was 0.89, 0.62. If it's over a 0.05, it's pretty good. I know, it doesn't sound like much, but it is. All right, so Facebook ads, anybody have any general questions on Facebook ads? Okay. Twitter ads, you can advertise on Twitter now. This is a case study that I kind of did, and so I do have to read my notes on this because there are a lot of things that I could have done different on this particular ad, and I wanted to do that to kind of show you guys. This is stuff you don't get a lot. You'll pay money for this type of case studies. So this ran for 5 days. We got 2,500, almost 2,500 impressions. That's pretty good. It says no conversions, but I didn't have any tracking set up on my website. So when people go there, you can actually place a tracking pixel to determine whether or not somebody took an action. So the reason that I wasn't able to meet my daily budget, so I ran for 5 days, my daily budget's 10 bucks, is because I didn't have enough keywords in there. I only had 12 keywords in there, so I had to increase the number of keywords that were in my ad in order to get more exposure to it. A big tip that you can keep in mind when if you use Twitter a lot or if you're thinking about it is to test the content organically first. So create a bunch of tweets with images, links, and see what gets shared the most and what people favorite the most, and you'll be able to use that data to create your ad then because it's converting better. And again, with if you're driving traffic to a opt-in page, then you want to set up the ad differently than if you're trying to just grow your followers. So, and if you're trying to grow your followers, it's great to use hashtags, but if you're trying just to get them to click on one thing in your ad, don't use hashtags or any other links other than the link that you want them to click on, because every time they click on something, you have to pay for that. So that's an important thing to learn. I had a strong call to action. Ask a question is a really good way to get engagement. I didn't do that here. I should have. I use the exact same one I used on Facebook, which is a mistake because you really need to cater it. It's a different platform altogether. And create a sense of urgency, like you did. Buy today or get $500 for entering your neighbor's house that you want to sell. And include 4 to 6 tweets per campaign so that it can optimize it over time. So those are some tips for you to keep. I hope you took some notes. If you're just getting started with Twitter, that'll get you going a lot faster than most. All right, so we had the opportunity recently to become vetted by Fortune Builders, and they do these 3-day boot camps where they teach students how to become real estate investors. They give them a website, they train them how to use social media, and they tell them that they shouldn't do it themselves. So at the end of the 3-day boot camp, they send them an email and they say, hey, we told you guys should be doing this yourself. You got to be going out there and doing your job, finding houses, all this stuff. And this company can do it for you. So we're extending this offer to you. It's a special price that they beat us down for, and yeah, that's them. So they got us down really low on this. It's a really good deal. What we do is 3 posts per week per platform. That's a lot for an entire year, and we'll even include blogging. We'll write blogs for you, either 26 or 52 blogs for the entire year. And if you want to get all of the information about that, I'm going to give you guys the exact same price I give to the Fortune Builder students. Just go to this page. Here's the bit.ly link, bit.ly/DFY, done for you, /SMM social media manager. bit.ly, bit.ly, and I'll have it up at the end too if you miss it. And the other offer I have for you today is that we can pull, if you have a business and you're not sure what you look like, we have a snapshot report that we can pull. It's what I talked about earlier. I'll show you what they are, but what we do is we plug in your phone number for the business, and it pulls up all of the information it can find. It pulls up the social and everything. So to get that, and there'll be a link at the end to jazzdesignco.com/snapshot. So what that is, we plug in the phone number. This is what the report looks like. It gives you a letter grade, an overall score for these 4 areas. It tells you what your listings look like on all of those places I talked about before, on all those websites. It goes out and determines how many listings that are there for your business, and it compares it to the industry average, and it pulls out a couple of them. And then this is perhaps one of the most important parts of the report. It determines what the listing accuracy is. How many mistakes are on the internet about your business? Are you missing phone numbers, incorrect websites? Is there a rogue listing, meaning it's sending people that go to your listing to your competitor's website? And phone numbers are incorrect. It happens all the time. If you're not actively managing this stuff, if businesses aren't actively managing their reputation online, there are errors. It tells you what you look like in these 4 major data providers that I talked about earlier. If it's accurate, that's great. This one, not even found. This one contains errors. This one's accurate. It also goes through your social performance. It pulls up Facebook, Twitter, and Foursquare, and that may not apply to every business, but Facebook and Twitter pretty much does. So how are your likes compared to the industry average? How many posts are you doing compared to the industry average? You know, is anybody liking your posts, and is anybody sharing your posts? And we can determine what's going on, if there's any opportunity for improvement. It pulls out anywhere it can find online reviews for your business, how many there are, what the average review score is, and how many sources. So this is really important at a high-level overview, and you'd be surprised how many business owners I show this report to, and they're like, oh my gosh, there's reviews about me out there? Yes, there are. Well, I want to thank you guys very much. I hope you got something out of this presentation. Here are the links that you can write down. Here's how to get a hold of us, our email addresses, send smoke signals, whatever you need to do. We're here. We can answer your questions. Thank you.